हेलो, हेलो। Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I think so. Term one portions are released. I think so. You know very well about that. Okay. So that's what I discussed with your sir, and he asked me to take a solid state. Shall we start solid state?
Yes.
We are going to start a solid state chapter. So we know that solid state is an important chapter. So there will be a lot of information, a lot of new things we are going to learn in this solid state chapter. Solid state. Okay. So what are all the things we are going to learn in this chapter? The first thing is, so we should categorize it or characterize it. Characteristics of solid state. So what is solid state? And we should know the definition for solid state and all. And next one is the difference between crystalline and amorphous solids. Amorphous solids. So based on the binding forces, how it can be classified and all we are going to discuss. Then unit cell. Unit cell. And very important thing is crystal lattice. Crystal lattice. These are all the things we are going to learn. And one more thing, what is that? A close packing. Close packing of solids. How it is packed in a crystal. So based on that, how it is closely packed in a crystal, based on that we have some categories. We are going to discuss all those things. Then different types of voids. Types of voids. Void means the holes or small gaps. Okay. And then packing efficiency. Packing efficiency. And packing efficiency. Then imperfections of solids. Imperfections of solids. These are all the things we are going to discuss. And they eliminated some portions like electrical and magnetic properties of solids. It's not in syllabus for term one. So here, before we discuss, in day-to-day life, what are all the solids you are looking? Any examples you can give? Any examples?
Scale, pencils.
Sorry,
Bat ball.
scale, pencils, very good. Then
Bat ball.
bat ball, very good. Then
Sir, football.
football, okay, fine. Then any other thing?
Sir, tumbler.
Sorry,
Tumbler, sir.
tumbler, yeah. Whatever you are looking, you can say, no problem with that. Yeah, very good. Then any other thing? So only few are saying, மற்றவங்களுக்குலாம் சாலிட் என்னன்னு தெரியாதா? எல்லாருமே சொல்லலாமே. நிறைய பேர் இருக்கீங்களே உள்ள. 14 members இருக்கீங்க. சொல்லலாமே.
Graphite.
Graphite. Okay. Very good. வேற ஏதாவது சொல்ல முடியுமா? பாசிபிலிட்டி இருக்கா?
Sir, octane, sir.
Sorry?
Octane.
Octane. Okay. வேற octane எங்க யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க தெரியுமா? Octane எங்க யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க தெரியுமா? Any idea?
So that alkane, higher member alkane, sir. Octane.
Higher member alkane. Okay. Why you particularly said octane? That's what I'm asking the question. So did you see this word anywhere else? Octane.
Sometimes
Yeah, in petrol bunk. If you go to petrol bunk, If you go
High
to
octane.
petrol bunk, the petrol bunk is not, it's not bunk, it's bulk. Okay, petrol bulk. If you go to petrol bulk, so you can able to see, so the petrol will be containing high octane content. High octane petrol, which will avoid the knocking characteristic of petrol. So the petrol which will be put it in our engines, bike engines. So what will happen? There will be a creation of some knocking, some strong sound will be getting created. So if suppose if petrol is not added with octane, so the octane avoid this kind of a knocking characteristic, some small bursting sound in engine. That kind of things can be avoided by the usage of this octane content. Okay, right. So we know that. So in day-to-day life, we are using even a car, even a vegetables, pens, bottles, chairs, any plastic things. Okay, all are coming under this categories, like a solids. So in this solids, what are the properties of solids? Do you know any
Sir,
properties
the
of solids?
atoms are closely packed.
Sorry,
The atoms are closely packed.
atoms. Okay, atoms are close to packed. Very good. Then, so which means that the intermolecular distance is short. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the molecular or internuclear distance is too short.
Sir,
Okay,
can we
Forces
say
are-
intermolecular distance? Intermolecular force of attraction is more. Can we
Definitely.
say that? Okay, sir.
Yes. We'll teach you. So in all those things, after completing this crystalline amorphous solids, we are going to enter in this type of forces. In the type of forces, I'll teach all those things. Don't worry. Intermolecular distance is too short. Then any other properties of solids?
So
They are rigid, sir.
Sorry?
Rigid. They are rigid.
Rigid. Very nice. They are rigid. Good. Then any other property?
High melting point.
Compressible.
High melting point. Compressible or incompressible?
Incompressible.
They are
Compressible.
not compressible, sir. Incompressible.
Very nice. Incompressible. Okay.
But
Very
sir, there are a few solids that are compressible, right?
Yeah. It's exceptions will also be there. Yeah.
Yes.
So generally, but most probably 90% of the solids are incompressible ones. Okay. Then any other things? Any
High
other property?
density, sir. They
Fixed
have high
volume.
density, sir.
Density, high density. Very good. High
Sir,
density.
fixed volume.
Very nice. They have a definite volume.
So they
Definite
cannot-
volume. Then definite mass. Definite shape. So any solid, if you take, it can have some shape. For example, mobile, it has some shape. For I have a book, we have some shape. Water bottle, we have some shape. Okay, but liquids are not like that. Whatever the vessel we are taking, so based on that, it will occupy some space. Suppose if I'm taking a water in glass, so the water will be occupied here. Suppose the same amount of water will be taken in a plate, so that means they are occupied the same space. So whatever the vessel we are taking, it can take their positions or take their shapes, but solids are not like that. Okay, they have a definite volume, definite mass, and definite shape also. They have a strong force of attraction. That is what the intermolecular distance is very short, so that they have strong force of attraction between them. Strong force of attractions between what? Between
Atoms.
constituent
Thank you.
particles.
The constituent particles.
Very nice. Constituent particles. What are all the constant particles? What may be the constant particle?
Atoms, ions.
Atoms, ions, and molecules.
It may be an
Molecules.
atom, or it may be an ion, or it may be a molecule.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So based on that, we can categorize that. So the constant particles, and then constant particles like constituent particles are occupied at fixed position. Very, very important. Fixed position. They have a fixed position. There is no movement. Okay, there is no movement of atoms, ions, or molecules when it is present in solid phase. So the constant particles are at fixed position. They can only oscillate. Oscillate, which means that a vibrate. So they can only vibrate at their mean position. At their mean position.
Yeah, this is the reason why sound travels faster in solids than the other mediums.
Sorry, this is the reason why.
This is the reason why sound travels faster in solids than other mediums.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, sir.
And next one is classification. So they're all incompressible, rigid, everything we covered. The next one is a classification. So classification, do you know what is the classification of this one? Based on intermolecular forces or based on arrangement of particles. Arrangement of particles. Based on arrangement of particles, it can be categorized into two types. One is crystalline solids. We are not going to discuss about the liquids and what is that, gases. Here is only solids. Crystalline solids, then amorphous solids. Crystalline solids and amorphous solids. Do you know anything about the crystalline solids?
Sir, any compound that exists in a crystal form?
Crystals. Okay. So how would you identify whether it is a crystal or not? So we
So the
can't say
arrange-
simply by looking through the naked eye, we can't say. Okay. Right. So how you identify whether it is a crystal or not?
They are arranged in a regular manner.
Regular manner. Okay. How would you came to know whether it is arranged regular manner or not? Any idea about this?
Sir, shear
Your
structures.
answer is perfect. The arrangement of particle is perfect. Okay, the perfect order of arrangement is there in crystalline solid, but amorphous solids it's not like that. Okay, there is no order of arrangement of particles. Very good. How would you identify whether it is a crystal or not? So just by looking at our naked eye, we can't say this is a crystal, this is an amorphous. So it's an experimental part. So we have to take X-ray diffractional studies. XRD, okay, they can say XRD, X-ray diffractional study. So the X-ray diffractional study implies that whether the particles are arranged properly, either in ordered manner or not in ordered manner. Okay, it tells us whether the particle is orderly arranged or not orderly arranged. If it is orderly arranged, then it will be coming under the category of crystalline solids. If there is no proper arrangement, that is coming under the category of amorphous solids. So generally we can say the order of arrangement of constituent particles are perfect. But here there is no order of arrangement. No order of arrangement. Arrangement of constituent particles. That's the first thing we need to know. So the second important thing is crystalline solids. Let's first discuss about the crystalline solids. Okay, crystalline. Then we'll move on to amorphous. Crystalline solids. What are all the crystalline solids? So what is the definition for that? It is that it consists of large number of crystals. Large number of very small crystals. Large number of very small crystals having definite shape definite shape, and they have long range order. What do you mean by long range order? Anybody knows that? Long range order?
Sir, more branches, sir.
More branches. Okay. Any other thing? Anything? Long range order. Good try. Any other thing?
So is it like
Sir, do they have
so
a
it
large
is
number of
properly
compounds?
arranged? So
Properly arranged. Very good. Then, yeah. Another person. You can now you can speak.
Sir, is it because there are large number of different types of compounds attached?
Yeah, it's like to be a
Is that
crystal
what?
means a small number of crystals are combined to form a big crystal.
same
Okay.
same order of particles
Same
are arranged.
order of same
Arranged.
order of
Atoms of particles are arranged.
atoms. Okay, same order of constant particles. So long range order in the sense over entire range of entire crystal, over entire crystal, there will be a regular repeating pattern of arrangement. Repeating pattern is followed. Okay. So there will be a over an entire range of crystals, the regular repeating pattern is followed. So whatever the pattern is followed, say for example, you consider this is a crystal. It's a big crystal. Okay. It's a big crystal you consider. So in this big crystal, there will be a number of small crystals will also be there. Whatever the order for a big crystal, the each and every crystal will have same pattern of arrangement. If you consider this is a one part, second part, third part, fourth part, small crystals are combined to form a big crystal. Now, the big crystal having some regular repeating pattern, likewise the first part will also having same pattern. So the entire range of crystal regular repeating pattern is followed. Then it is called long range order. Long range order, long, that means long towards to the entire crystal, because we know that crystals are in 3D. So we can't say it is a, say for example, you consider this is a cubical structure, it's a crystal, it's a kind of unit cell you consider. Okay, so the number of unit cells, it's a kind of unit cell. So it's likewise number of unit cells combined to form a big crystal. Okay, so likewise, so over an entire range of crystals, similar pattern is followed. That is called long range order. Very, very important one. Okay, right. And after that, second point, over entire crystal, regular repeating pattern is followed. Okay, and it has sharp melting point. What do you mean by sharp melting point? So each and every word you should know, because then only we can able to identify the difference between crystalline amorphous. Yeah.
Sir, is it
Sharp
because
melting.
sir, when that solid attains that particular melting point, will start melting, sir?
It start melting. Okay. It start melting means, say for example, if I'm taking a solid.
The melting point will be a number and not a range.
Number or not range? I can't get it. Sorry.
Sir,
the melting point will be a number and not a range of temperature.
Yeah, okay, fine. Very nice, very nice. So it has single melting point. That means a sharp melting point, which means that, say for example, if I'm heating here, through this burner, just I'm heating. So once I heat this, what will happen? Suppose the melting point of this is 55 degrees Celsius. You just assume it. From solid, it has 55 degrees Celsius. Once it reaches 55 degrees Celsius, particle 1, 2, 3, 4, every particle will start melting at this particular temperature. Okay, so all the particles, all the crystals all the constant particles are getting melted at a single point. That is what they have a sharp melting point. Okay. So every particles are start melting at the same point. Okay. Suppose if a particular temperature after suppose 55.5 degrees Celsius it reaches, suppose if this crystal 1 is getting melted half, the crystal 2 will also be half. Crystal 3 will also be half. Crystal 4 will also be half the melted. Okay. Half that means half of the crystal is getting melted above which its melting point. You assume it. Okay. So here that means what? So it is just like a number. He said what he said rightly, that is a number. So it does not have any over entire range of temperature. It's a number. So when it is a 55 degrees Celsius, when it reaches 55 degrees Celsius, all the particles present in the crystal, it starts melting. Look at the word. So carefully listen. Starts melting. It starts melting. It started melting. Okay. Okay. So at a particular temperature, entire crystal start becoming a liquid. So it has sharp melting point. Okay. And next thing is you should know what is that? A cooling curve. What do you mean by cooling curve? Cooling curve.
Graph of the cooling or
Say for example, some crystal is getting heated. So just for example, you have taken some crystal in a test tube. Some crystals in a test tube. Just a second. So here you are heating this. So what will happen? It's melted. So after above its melting point, we heat this. So completely it become a liquid. After that, you are stopping the heat. So you are avoiding the heat or you are closing the burner. What will happen? So the heat will not be getting to the crystals. Then what will happen? So it gradually cooled in air. So it starts cooling. From the melting point, it starts cooling. Okay. So once it cooled, so at the same point where it melts, it starts becoming a solid.
solid.
Yeah, it starts becoming a solid. So while you heating, it may be called as a melting point. While you cooling, it may be called as, what is that?
Cooling curve.
No. நான் கேக்குறது புரியுதா? Just solid எடுக்கிறீங்க, ஹீட் பண்றீங்க. ஹீட் பண்ண உடனே மெல்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு. மெல்டிங் பாயிண்ட் சொல்லிட்டு திருப்பி கூல் பண்ணிக்கிட்டே வரீங்க. ஸோ கூல் பண்ணிட்டே வரும்போது ஒரு பாயிண்ட்ல சாலிடா மாற ஆரம்பிக்கும். இந்த பாயிண்ட்டுக்கு பேர் என்ன சொல்லுவோம்?
கண்டென்ஸ்.
கண்டென்ஸ். வேற இன்னும் கொஞ்சம்? Yeah, what you said rightly. இன்னொருத்தர் சொன்னீங்களே, what is that?
Freezing point.
Freezing point. அப்ப freezing அப்படின்னா சாலிடா மாற ஆரம்பிக்கிற பாயிண்ட். ஓகேயா? ஸோ ஜென்ரலா ஃப்ரீசிங் அப்படின்னாலே நம்ம என்ன நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கோம் அப்படின்னா பிலோ 0 டிகிரி செல்சியஸ். நம்ம வாட்டரை வச்சு அசியூம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கனால நமக்கு அந்த வேர்டு சடனா ஸ்ட்ரைக் ஆகும். பட் இங்கேயும் நம்ம என்ன சொல்ல மாட்டோம் அப்படின்னா we can't say freezing point. It's a solidification point. சாலிடா மாற ஆரம்பிக்கக்கூடிய பாயிண்ட் பேர் என்ன? solidification point. Solidification point. So here we are going to plot a graph between the time as well as the temperature. So we know that when the temperature increases, you consider this point. Now we are cooling this, so it attains a melting point. So the solid we have taken, the solid is getting melted. It reaches its melting point. This point is called point A is called melting point of that solid. Now you are gradually cooling this, the melting point. That means it started becoming a solidification. After reaching a certain point, it start melt like this. It can get sharp melting point like this. You consider this is a point B, this is a point C, and this is a point D. So from A to B, what all the phases are there in the test tube? From A to B, what are all the phases are existing? Either one
Sir,
phase is existing or two phases existing or what?
One, sir.
A to B it will be solid or once.
Yeah. So it's completely liquid. Okay, only liquid is present. From B to C, what? From
Sir,
B to
liquid.
C,
Liquid and solid, sir.
very nice.
Semi-solid.
Liquid and solid. What about C to D?
Solid.
Only solid.
Solid.
Okay, only solid is present. Say for example, if I'm taking an ice cube, you just I can have some glass. Here I have some ice cubes. I have some water also inside it. Okay, so once you take an ice cube, once you put ice cube in water, what will happen? It suddenly melted into water? No, it takes some time to melt, and between that, so it has two phases. Ice cubes are floating on the water. Why? Because both the phases are existing, both are in equilibrium. Both are in equilibrium. Okay. So if suppose if you are changing any condition, suppose if you are going heated, suddenly it melted. Suppose if you are going freeze it, suddenly it can form ice. Okay, it will take some time to settle. Okay, so that is what this is a cooling curve. Are you able to understand this? So from point A, it is completely liquid melt. It is only melt. And here completely a solid one. What about here B to C? At the point B, it start becoming a solid. Okay, starts to become a solid. At the point C, so they completely became a solid. Okay, the solidification point is starting in the B point, and solidification point will be end at the C point. Is that clear? Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Very fine.
Yes, sir.
Then another point, it is also very, very important concept. So anisotropic in nature. So these are the, if you want to learn about the crystalline solids, you must know all these things very clearly. Otherwise, you can't able to attend the questions because this time is completely MCQ. Okay. So anisotropic in nature. Anisotropic in nature. What do you mean by anisotropic in nature? Any idea about this? Whether they school whether they completed in
No,
school?
sir.
No, sir. In my school, didn't do, sir.
Okay. Oh, some different school students are also there. Huh? Okay, fine. Okay. So anisotropic in nature. What is the meaning of anisotropic? Any idea about this? No problem.
If we start measuring some property in some specific direction, it will be different.
Very nice. So how will you get the values? Whether different values or same values?
Anisotropic, I think it will be different.
Different values. Why it is different?
Because of its arrangements.
Yeah, because of arrangements. The physical properties such as electrical resistance, have showed different values when you measure across the different directions. So while you're measuring some properties in crystal, it shows some different values when we measure in different directions. Because of the particle arrangement, it shows the different values. Because here the arrangement of particle is perfect, because crystalline solid has perfect order of arrangement. Say for example, let them take some particles like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You assume that 5 crystal particles are, and here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, the same pattern is repeated: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, the same pattern will be repeated: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All are similar particles. Okay. So suppose the orange color particles, every particle is similar particle. White color is all white colors are similar particles. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Suppose you consider here, suppose if I'm measuring some properties in this direction, in which direction? From left to right, in this direction. Okay. I got a value of A. You consider this a A is a value. A has some value. Okay. So I'm measuring some theoretical distance. It has some worm like that. Okay. Suppose if I measure the property along this direction, it will give different values. Why?
The direction is different.
Okay, because of the direction only, it does not differ. What's another thing?
So the
So
the
here
area of
all
particles.
are,
arrangement.
what is that, orange colored particles, but here orange, white, orange, white, orange, white, like the zigzag arrangement will be there. Okay. Suppose if I measured along with this direction, the entire particles are different. Suppose if I measured along this direction, the number of particles may vary. So here orange, white, orange, white, orange, white, likewise it's going. Okay. Is it clear? So when I measured some properties along with the different direction, I can get some different values because of perfect arrangement, and also it is long range in order. Over the entire crystal, the similar pattern is followed, so that it always gives different values when I measure properties in different directions. That is called anisotropic image. Is that clear? And most probably, many of the solids are crystalline in nature. Most probably, mostly solids are in crystalline form. Crystalline form. It's called anisotropic image. And here for crystalline solid, energy to form ordered constituent particles is very less. That's what they form more stable crystals. The energy to form ordered constant particle is very less, because the arrangement of particles will taking a long time. So it does not require any much amount of energy to suddenly to settle as a particles. Here it will take long time to settle. That's what it forms a stable complex. It like to be slow and steady. Okay, slow and steady they have followed. Okay, the particles will be arranged slowly and orderly. That's what it required very less amount of energy to arrange themselves. Okay, so the energy to form ordered constant particle is very less. That's what they form stable crystals. Okay, that's all about the crystalline solids. And what about the amorphous solids? What do you mean by amorphous? Amorphous solids. Any idea about this?
So non-ordered particles.
Yeah, very good. Irregular arrangement of constant particles. Irregular arrangement of particles, and they have short range order. What do you mean by short range order?
No periodic pattern, sir.
Yeah, there is no repeating pattern. We can't say no repeating pattern. The repeating pattern will be there, but it is in short range order. Okay, repeating pattern is there, Okay, but it is in short range only, not in the case of entire crystal. Similar pattern will not be found. Okay, some different patterns are found. That's what it has, short range order. Okay, so it's not like to be a chain like this. Okay, it can have chain like this, chain like this, chain like this, chain like this, chain like this. It has some cutting chain like this. Okay, so likewise the small chains are there. Okay, and here also the arrangement of particles is irregular. So irregular means what? Say for example, you assume it these are all the constant particles. In that constant particles, the arrangement will not be improper. Okay, if there is no proper arrangement, so no problem with that. So here it has isotropic in nature. Why it is isotropic nature? Say for example, if I measured property in some properties in this direction, it has one orange, one white, one orange, one white, one orange. Likewise, the chain will cut off. Suppose if I measured some property in this direction, what will happen? One orange, white, orange, white, orange, white. So the same pattern will be followed. Okay, but it is for short term. This was short term, short range order. That's what when I measured along this direction or this direction or this direction, the arrangement of constant particles here almost are same. Okay, even though it is a non-ordered arranged particles, within that it has small chain-like structure. Each chain will have similar patterns. Like that is what they have, similar properties. When I measured along with the all directions, almost. It's not exactly, almost similar properties. Okay, so that is what it is isotropic in nature. Isotropic in nature. Okay, they are all isotropic in nature. Irregular arrangement of constant particles, and they have short range order and isotropic in nature, and they behave like a liquid. They behave like a liquids. So they behave like a liquids. Okay, that is what they doesn't have any sharp melting point. They don't have any sharp melting point. No sharp melting point. Okay, they are getting softened. They are getting softened. So it has some range of temperature. Some range of temperature to melt. Okay, it has that means all the particles will not be melt at a single point. Okay, it has some range, some over a range of temperature, it start melting and it start the melting will be ended at particular temperature. Between that particular temperature, that is what they have, a softening temperature. They soften on heating, not sharp melting. Okay, they soften on heating. They behave like a liquids. So even we have take some examples like a glass. Glass is a good example for this kind of a crystalline, sorry, amorphous solid, and they can started to flow. The flow of glass will be there. That is what glasses are otherwise called as super cooled liquids. Super cooled liquids. Is that clear? So glasses are have a tendency to flow, like to be a liquid, but it will not taking place in a day, in a year. Okay, so it will take some years, it will take some months, it will take some hours, not in hours, generally in months and years, or in it will take some billions of years. Okay, so the glasses may started to flow, but definitely flow, but the flow is very slow. That is very important. It started flowing like to be a liquid, but that means the flowing will be very slow. The order of flow is very slow. Okay, say for example, you may suppose to see glasses like this. You consider this a glass, so it has same thickness, but after and 10 years, 15 years, you just assume it you 15 years. 15 years back, the same glass will be like this. In bottom part, we have some thickness. and top part we have some thin layer will be created because the glasses can start to flow from top to bottom. Okay, so from top to bottom, the glasses are having flowing tendency. So it is not taking place in a year. Okay, so it will take some years because over a wide range of temperature it is supposed to expose. So over range of temperature, heat, then cool. So again, over a prolonged period of time only it will take. It will take some prolonged period of time, and also so over a wide range of temperature change. Okay, so the bottom of the glass is now become thickness. It has some thickness. Why? Because the top part of the glass will started to flow from top to bottom over a wide range of temperature change for a prolonged period of time. That is called a flow of glass will be there. And usually the old glass, it's like to be a milky uh, color will be there. Milkiness will be there. So some milky color will be there in old glass if you look at. Okay. So in museum, if you have a chance to visit any museum, you can see the milky glasses will also be available. Okay. It will take much more years. And one more thing, the glass, if it is heated below its melting point, at which a particular point it started to become a crystalline. It started to become a crystalline. So that temperature is called glass transition temperature. Glass transition temperature. The glass transition temperature is nothing but, so the glasses are amorphous in nature. So when it's heated below its melting point at a particular temperature, it starts to become a crystalline nature. That is what they have, glass transition temperature. So amorphous solids, they become a crystalline nature, but this will taking place very slowly, very slowly. Okay, this will taking place very slowly. And here in amorphous solids, we doesn't have any sharp melting point. So the cooling curve, if we plot a cooling curve between as usual time as well as temperature, it has a curve like structure. It has curve like structure like this. Okay, it has a curve like this. So over a wide range of temperature it has. Okay, it starts melting, and start becoming a solid. But in crystalline solid, that's not like that. Once it started becoming a solid, entire thing will start to solid, and entire thing started to become a liquid metal. Okay, but here it's not like that. Some particles are becoming a solid, some particles are becoming in the form of liquid itself. So some particles are in the form of liquid itself, some particles are started to become a solid. Okay, that's what they have, a cooling curve like this. They are not having any sharp what is that curves. So here it has a sharp, it's not a sharp curve, it's a smooth curve. It's a smooth curve will be there, and it is isotropic in nature, and we also know that it is short range. Okay, so that's all about the crystalline and the amorphous cell.
Sir,
And it is
doubt.
very hard to distinguish.
Sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, you said amorphous solids behave like liquids, sir. So do
Yes.
they have a definite shape and volume and all that, sir?
Sorry.
Sir, do they have a definite shape or volume?
No, they doesn't have any different shape. Say for example, if you have a glass, if you broken the glass, whether it is cut it in similar parts,
No, sir.
no, it will not be like that. Okay. So if it is cut it in a similar part, then it is a crystalline solid. So, but if you cutting through the sharp cutting tool, then even though it become two parts. Say for example, we have a silicon carbide. So we are going to study in covalent solids. It's a good example for covalent solids, silicon carbide. Silicon carbide pencil will be used. It has sharp tool like this. It's a sharp pen like the pen-like structure. A sharp pen-like structure. The tip which is made by silicon carbide. SiC, silicon carbide. It is the most hardest material. Hardest material. Hardest material. Material that is in synthesized or hardest material.
Okay, sir.
Synthesized or artificially made hardest material is what? Silicon carbide. Almost they have a hardness in the range of hardness. They can measure the hardness in the range of Mohs scale. Mohs scale. Okay. So the maximum value is 10, but here the silicon carbide has 9.5. For the diamond it is 10. Diamond is a natural material. Okay. So for the diamond is the most hard substance in the world. Diamond is the most hard substance in the world, and it is a identified one. But here silicon carbide is a synthesized material in which it has most hardest substance. Okay. And very important thing, it is hard to distinguish between crystalline and amorphous. Okay, crystalline or amorphous. How we can determine it? So by using XRD, X-ray diffractional studies. It tells us what? So the order of arrangement of particles. Order of arrangement of particles. How it is arranged in crystals. Particles. So the order of arrangement of particles it can give. So XRD data will tells about the order of arrangement of particles, whether the particles are arranged properly or not. If it is properly arranged, so then it is called crystal. If it is not properly arranged, from the data we can get it, so it is amorphous. So we can determine whether it is amorphous or crystalline only by X. Okay, so because in 50 years before, there is no technique to identify whether it is crystalline or amorphous. But now we have techniques like this. So whether the particles are in, based on the particle arrangement, we can identify whether it is a crystal or amorphous. Okay, I can give you some examples. You can see volcano. Volcano. Okay, or volcanic eruptions. Okay, so whether it forms it means it has some hot lava. Am I right? Hot lava. It is very hot in nature. Say for example, we have a what is that volcano like this. So inside of which we have a hot liquid is there. Once it suddenly came to the atmospheric condition, what will happen? Suddenly they become a solid. Okay, suddenly they started to become a solid, because at which a high temperature, suddenly they get cooled. So almost 3000 degrees Celsius, 4000 degrees Celsius, that much of temperature will be there. So at which a very high temperature, it starts suddenly cooling. When it is exposed to atmospheric pressure of 28 degrees Celsius, it's suddenly cooling. Okay, sudden cooling will be there. So it starts, what is that? Start becoming a solid. So whether it is a crystalline or amorphous in nature.
So crystalline?
It is not crystalline. Why? Good try. Why you said it's a crystalline?
Sir,
Because the thing is, suppose you consider this a lava. So there will be some particles will be there. The particles are going to settle. So like this. It should have some sufficient time to settle. Okay. So one by one, each and every particle will settle. So it will take more time. That is what it required very less energy, I told, in crystalline solids. Okay. So the formation of particles will take less amount of energy, because it will going to settle one by one in crystalline. But amorphous, there is no time to settle, because the temperature, from high temperature to low temperature, suddenly the particles are getting compressed in the form of solids. Now they become amorphous in nature. They're all amorphous in nature. They doesn't have any sufficient time to settle as in the form of crystals. Okay. Now we should know the difference between crystalline and amorphous. I can say one by one: crystalline and amorphous. Amorphous in nature. Crystalline solid and amorphous in nature. Yes. Crystalline solids and amorphous in nature. Yes, please. Anandita, please you may tell any one difference between crystalline and amorphous.
Crystalline, the particles are arranged in a regular manner, and in
Okay.
amorphous, it's irregular.
Good. Regular three-dimensional arrangement. Very good. Arrangement is there. But here, irregular arrangement. So just I can simply lighting all those things. And next one is by Akshaya, please. Any other difference for
Yes,
this?
sir.
Yes.
So crystalline solids, long range order, sir, and
Very
in
nice.
amorphous,
Very
it's short range order.
long range order crystalline solids, and here it is a short range order. Very good. What do you mean by long range and short range order? Akshaya, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What is long and short range order?
Sir, in long range order, it will be in a repeating pattern, sir.
Okay.
In short
Here
range
also
order, it
repeating
will not
pattern
be
will be there. Here also repeating pattern will
not
be there, but it
completely,
is for
sir.
short range only. Okay. So
Yes,
the
sir.
chain will be cut. So the small chains will be there, but it is not like that in the case of crystalline solid. Crystalline solid, they have entire range. Say for example, if we have a train, so the entire train will be called as crystalline, but each and every box is called amorphous. That is short range. So each and every box will consider short range, and entire train will be called as crystalline. That is a long range. Okay. Then Ashik, please. Ashik. Ashik இருக்காருங்களா? கண்ணா இருக்கீங்களா?
Yes, sir.
ஏதாவது ஒரு டிஃபரன்ஸ் சொல்லுங்க. Any difference?
In crystalline, the boiling point will be the boiling point range, the melting point range will be small.
Sorry, they have sharp melting point.
Melting point.
But in here, no sharp melting point. No sharp melting point, or it is becoming softening while you heat. Okay, fine. Then Harshita.
Sir,
Harshita, any other difference? Any difference? You can say any points. Whatever we discussed, any points you can share.
They have a long range order.
Yeah, they already said long range, short range. They said.
Sir, I don't know any other than those.
Okay, fine, no problem, no problem. So next chance is for Harshita, Harini Harshita. Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, please.
Sir, they have covalent bonds.
Which one?
They both have covalent bonds, but
Very nice.
in case of
But
crystalline, they have also ionic.
no. I asked only the difference. Just tell me the difference.
Only crystalline solids have ionic bonds and metallic bonds.
Okay.
But in case of sir,
Proceed, please.
that's it, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. And next chance for Mithun Krishna.
Sir, yes, sir. So for crystalline solids, less energy is required for the like regular arrangement of constituent particles.
Yeah.
Here, more energy is required.
Less energy is required. Very good. Here, more energy is required. More energy in the sense they are less stable. Okay, less stable. But here, less energy. Yeah, more energy, less stable. Less energy, more stable. Okay, so the particles. So crystalline particles are crystalline solids are generally stable one. Okay, next one is Monisha.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Crystalline solids are true solids and amorphous solids are pseudo solids here like liquid.
Good. True solids and pseudo solids. Why it is called as pseudo solids?
They behave like liquids.
It was fake or
They
false.
behave like a liquid. That is what they become a pseudo solid. Pseudo means the duplicate or poly. So the pseudo solids. True solids. What is the meaning of true solids?
Sir, any element that has the physical properties of a solid.
Okay, fine. Nikhilesh.
Yes, sir. So crystalline solids are anisotropic and amorphous
Very
solids are isotropic.
Okay, anisotropic. Anisotropic, and it is isotropic in nature. Very nice. Anisotropic in nature. Very good. Then next, Rohan.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So,
Any other valid
can we
points?
talk about the cooling graph, sir?
So, yeah, sure. So cooling curve.
Cooling curve, sir. For the crystalline solid, there's a breakage in between.
Very
While
nice.
for the other one, there's no breakage.
2 breaks in cooling curve. Very good. But here, there's a smooth.
It's
curve.
smooth, sir.
Yeah. Very good, Kana. Super. And Shashank Gopalan.
Amorphous solids have solidify on cooling,
Okay.
whereas crystalline solids are consist of small crystals.
Sorry, I can't get it to your point.
Amorphous
solid.
Amorphous solids consist of amorphous solid do not form solidify when their liquids solidify on cooling.
Okay, it also solidified, but there is no sharp cooling will be there. There is no sharp freezing point. There is no sharp melting point, like that only. That is why it doesn't have any breaks in cooling curve, but here the smooth curve will be a time. It also becomes a solid after a wide range of while the temperature is becoming the normal temperature, it also becomes a solid. It also becomes in the form of solid, but it will take more time. Okay, fine. Satyapriya. Satyapriya. சத்யபிரியா இருக்கீங்களாமா? இருக்கீங்க? Satyapriya, are you there? Okay, Suryamuthu. Suryamuthu. Venisha.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any other point, ma?
Crystalline solid have geometrical shape and amorphous solid have irregular shape.
Irregular shape. Okay, fine. Okay. When cut with sharp tools become two parts. Okay, two parts. Each part having regular and smooth. Here also, when cut with sharp tools, they also become two parts, but they have irregular surfaces. And here 9. They have a high heat of fusion. High heat of fusion. What do you mean by heat of fusion? What do you mean by heat of fusion?
Sir, sir, is
There's a
it
point where the bond will get break, sir.
The bond will break. Very nice.
Intermolecular
Heat of
bonds.
fusion. Yeah, very good. Very good. They are, because the particle arrangement is symmetrical, then the heat of fusion will also be very high. The particles are not orderly arranged. Based on that only, the heat of fusion will be there. That is what they do not have any fixed heat of fusion in amorphous solids. Okay. Right. So these are all some of the important points about what crystalline as well as amorphous solids. And next thing is polycrystalline. What do you mean by polycrystalline? Do you have any idea about this polycrystalline? Polycrystalline. Because some schools they may teach, they may complete this chapter because the first chapter, that's what they may complete it. Some school they may not. Yeah. Polycrystallines. So generally, crystals are always not pure crystalline. Pure crystalline and purely amorphous. Then how it will be, sir? It will be in the form of polycrystalline. So the crystal polycrystalline, which means what? So they are existing between the pure crystalline and amorphous. Okay, these are solids. These are solids composed of many crystallites. Crystallites means the small crystals of varying size and orientation separated between or separated by grain boundaries. What is that? Grain boundaries? Nothing but, say for example, this is a small crystallite. It's a kind of crystallite. It is another crystallite. Okay. So each of them will have small crystals. Small particles or small crystals. So all of them are separated. This is one crystallite, this is one crystallite, this is one crystallite. Okay, but they are not arranged properly. Okay, but the arrangement is somewhat proper, but not exactly completely proper. Pure crystalline, it's not existing in the form of pure crystalline. It is existing in between the crystalline as well as amorphous. And they are separated by each and everything will be separated by a boundary. That boundary is called grain boundaries. The boundary is called grain boundaries. Okay. So generally, these are all common metals. All common metals. Common metals are polycrystalline. Polycrystalline. So they may ask you to write some, they may give some examples. So from that they can ask you to write whether it is polycrystalline, crystalline, amorphous. Likewise they have to write, they have to ask. Okay. Say for example here iron, even a silver, gold, copper, all common metals are coming under PC, polycrystalline. They are polycrystalline, not purely crystalline, purely amorphous. Okay.
Sir,
NaCl, it's a crystalline solid. Crystalline solid. The regular proper arrangement will be there. Say for example, if you use any plastics or polymers are coming under amorphous. Any polymers, all polymers are amorphous in nature. Then even rubber is also amorphous in nature. Even a glass is also amorphous in nature. All these are coming under the category of amorphous. Okay, so they may give some examples to you. Say for example, they will be given polycarbonate. Polycarbonate means what? Either is crystalline, amorphous, or polycrystalline. Poly, the word comes for polymers. Polymers. Polycarbonate, where you see the polycarbonate? Where did you see the polycarbonate? Did you heard about that polycarbonate?
So pipes.
Pipes. Okay, not like that. Pipes are PVC. It's polyvinyl chloride.
Yes. Sorry.
Polycarbonate, PC.
Polycarbonate sheets.
Carbonate sheets are okay. Any other thing? Day-to-day life, daily we are using. Even in all our home, definitely this material should be there. In every home, this polycarbonate material should be. It's there. Modern day, without this polycarbonate, we can't make any switches. Switches are made by polycarbonate materials. Switches, the fan switch, light switch, everything which is made by polycarbonate material. In olden days, they used some material. Do you know about that material? In olden day switches. Okay, we don't worry about that. Okay, so switches are made by polycarbonate materials. Okay, like.
So they are amorphous, sir.
Sorry.
Are they amorphous?
Which one? Yeah, they're all amorphous.
Polycarbonate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yes.
Sir, when we heat gold, it becomes a soft metal, no, sir?
Yeah.
So then it should be amorphous, no,
soft
sir?
melt. It becomes soft melt. Whenever, if you heat the plastic, it does not become completely a liquid. Okay. So it starts softening. It gets softened. If you heat the pipe, what will happen? It's getting softened. ஒரு PVC பைப் எடுத்துக்கிறீங்க, ஹீட் பண்றீங்க, என்ன நடக்கும்? உருகி ஊத்திடாது உடனே என்ன ஆகும்? சாஃப்ட் ஆகும் ஃபர்ஸ்ட். ஓகேயா?
Yes, sir. So gold will also sir, on heating it will become
gold
soft.
Is
no,
polycrystalline. Sir? Gold is polycrystalline. It is in between amorphous and crystalline solids.
Sir, but gold is also a soft metal, no, sir?
Metal is soft. The different, that means, see, even if you say, if you talk about gold, yeah, you can use gold. If you take sodium, which one is very soft?
Sodium, sir.
Sodium is very soft metal. Okay, so it's all comparative study. It's all comparative study. Okay,
Sir,
generally
not
we can talk about the soft, so does not depend on soft. The soft means it is not, it's softening. That is, softening is very important. Okay.
yes, sir, not soft, sir. I'm saying on heating gold, it becomes soft, no, sir. The chain making process and all, it becomes soft, no, sir. Then it should
Yeah,
be an
yeah,
amorphous, should be an amorphous solid, no, sir.
It's not amorphous. It's a metal. All metals are generally polycrystalline nature because they are not, in the case of a pure crystalline, there is not in the form of amorphous. But pure gold, we can't make any chains. Keep it in mind. We can't make any chain using pure gold. So with the help of copper only, we can use it. Okay. For that flow only, they can use this kind of copper. Okay. For that, for pure gold, we can't make even coins. We can't make any coins. Gold coins, which also made by it, is also 9161. It's not 100%. It's
Okay,
not
sir.
going to become a sharp. It doesn't going to become a does not become a softened one. It has sharp melting point. It is a crystalline, polycrystalline. Okay. It's not amorphous. Are you able to understand this?
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Benzoic acid. It is crystalline solid. Almost. Do you know about oxalic acid? Oxalic acid. What about the physical state of oxalic acid? Oxalic acid.
Solid,
Malonic
sir.
acid, succinic acid. So
Crystals,
most
sir.
probably, sorry.
Oxalic is crystals, no, sir.
Crystals, yes, crystalline solids. Because somebody thought of that. Somebody may what is that? Just a minute. Yes. Yeah. So most probably organic acids are generally in solid phase. Mineral acids generally in liquid phase, organic acids generally in solid phase. This is crystalline nature. And Teflon, whether it is crystalline, polycrystalline, or amorphous. Teflon, where you heard about this word Teflon?
So Teflon sheet.
Teflon sheets, where it is used? Day to day also we are using in our kitchen.
Non-stick pan, sir.
Non-stick pans. Teflon coated pans. Teflon coated pans. Okay. Non-sticky pans. It is made by Teflon. So Teflon is also amorphous. It's also polymer. If it is a polymer, means it's amorphous. That's it. Simple logic. PVC, amorphous. Then fiber, glass, amorphous. Copper, polycrystalline. Okay, it's all polycrystalline. Is that clear? And here another thing is quartz. Quartz. Quartz is crystalline in nature. Glass, amorphous in nature. Okay. Because in quartz there will be arrangement of particles or in long range order, but glass is short range order. So and they become softened, but they become melted. And next one is crystalline solids. Crystalline solids. So what do you mean by crystalline solids? So another classification. So first classification is based on the particles arrangement. But here, based on intermolecular forces between them, it can be classified into 4 types. Okay. Based on intermolecular forces, it can be classified into 4 types. Can you able to see this? Wait a minute, I'll share the screen. Can you able to see this now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. This is crystalline solids. So, yeah. So amorphous solids are only short range order, we know that. So I say the most probably natural materials are crystalline in nature generally. Based on that intermolecular force of attraction, it can be classified into molecular solids, ionic solids, metallic solids, and covalent solids. So here we are going to discuss about only molecular solids. What is molecular solid? The molecules are the constant particles here in molecular solids. The constant particles are generally a molecule. It can be further subdivided into three types: non-polar molecular solid, polar molecular solid, hydrogen bonded molecular solids. Okay, so just we are going to discuss about molecular solids category. So we have crystalline solids in that based on the force of attraction between them, we have four categories. One is molecular solid, ionic solid, metallic solid, and covalent solid. In which molecular solid we have three subcategories: non-polar molecular solids, polar molecular solids, hydrogen bonded molecular solids. Okay. So here non-polar molecular solids. So what do you mean by non-polar molecular solids? They form non-polar covalent bonds. They form non-polar covalent bonds. What do you mean by non-polar covalent bond? Okay, what do you mean by covalent bond?
Bonding of
between
carbon.
metal, non-metal bond.
Metal and non-metal bond. Is that covalent bond?
Electrons are shared in a covalent bond.
Very nice. The sharing of electron, mutual sharing of electron between the particles or atoms. Okay. So it can be either formed by atoms or by a molecules forming by non-polar covalent bonds, which means that there is no electronegativity difference between them. Say for example, if I'm taken a H, there is no electronegativity between them. Cl, because both are same atom, so that there is no electronegativity differences. So the atoms or molecules are held together by weak dispersion forces or London. I'll tell you all the force of attraction. Don't worry about that. So London forces. Say for example, just I'm taking iodine. It's a solid. Iodine is a solid, you know that. So valence electron, how many valence electrons for iodine? What is the valence electron of iodine? Whenever you studied the periodic table, so some properties are same through the period or so this is period. Okay, if you go from left to right or right to left, it's period. From top to bottom, bottom to top, what is that? Periodic table. In periodic table, if you move from here to here and
Column,
here
sir.
to here. Sorry?
Is it column, period column, sir?
Column, how we can say column? How we can say column in periodic table?
Sir, period.
Periods in group.
And
Group.
group.
Groups.
Groupsங்கிற ஒரு வார்த்தை வாங்குறதுக்கு எவ்வளவு நேரம் இருக்கு. Okay. Some properties. இப்போ ஏன் குரூப்ல அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணிருக்காங்க ஒரு பார்ட்டிகல்ஸ்? இப்போ for example நம்ம family like fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Why they are arranged in a group? Single group, same group.
Same number of valence electrons.
Because the properties are similar. Almost the properties are similar. So whatever, some properties are very similar for each and every atom. So for example, for chlorine, The size is different. Iodine, the size is very big. This is the different properties. But if you consider with the electronic configuration, all are having same valence shell electrons. Okay. Fluorine atomic number is 9. What about chlorine? What about chlorine? 17. What about bromine? இதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப பேசிக் பாருங்க. இப்ப 9 அதோட ஒரு 8 ஆட் பண்றீங்க, அதோட ஒரு 18 ஆட் பண்ணோம், அதோட ஒரு 18 ஆட் பண்ணோம், அதுக்கப்புறம் 32 ஆட் பண்ணோம். அவ்வளவுதான், சிம்பிள். அப்ப புரோமினோட ஆட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா இங்க 35, இங்க ஒரு 18 ஆட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா 53. ஓகே, சோ இந்த மாதிரி வந்து சோ அப்ப இங்க ஒரு 8 8 8 18 18 32, that's it. ஓகே, அப்ப ஃப்ளூரின் குளோரின், அப்ப இதுல என்ன what is that electronic configuration இருக்கும், same electronic configuration. That means similar valence shell electrons will be there for all the halogen family, okay, members. For example, fluorine 1s2 2s2 2p5, okay, 2p5. This is a K shell and this is a L shell. In this L shell, we have 7 electrons in valence shell. Chlorine. So we know that helium, after that, helium atomic number 10, after that 3s2 3p5. So here this is the third shell, M shell. M shell also has 7 electrons. So if you look at for fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, everything we have 7 electron in its valence shell. Likewise, iodine is also having 7 electron in valence shell. Now we know that here 1 electron, 1 electron. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So each iodine atom has 7 electrons each. Then 1 electron will be shared and 1 electron will be shared and they form a bond. Okay, now 2 electrons are mutually sharing. The mutual sharing of electron is called covalent. Okay, so now they form a covalent bond, right? And we know that very important thing, we should know that. What about the electrons? Say for example, if you consider this a nucleus, where the electrons are present. You consider this is a nucleus. Now where the electrons are present?
In orbitals.
In orbital. Very good. Okay. So in orbital, in the sense, it always moving around the molecule. What about the electron cloud is there? Electron cloud is there. The electron cloud are always moving around the molecules. Okay. It is not a stable one. It is not to be a immovable one. It is always moving around the molecule. That is very important point. It is always moving around the molecule. Okay, now we have lone pair of electrons here. Here also we have a lone pair of electrons. At any fraction of seconds, even a nanofraction also. Okay, even a fraction of seconds or 10 power minus 9 fraction of seconds. So இப்படிங்கிறதுக்குள்ளர ஒரு 10 power minus 9. So அந்த அளவுக்கு very fraction of seconds என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னா all these two electron may shifted over here, because you said it is a non-polar molecule. Non-polar means there is no positive and negative charges. But here some electrons from the iodine 1 molecule, iodine 1 atom to iodine 2 atom, they can shift it over from here to here for a fraction of seconds. Now what will happen? Here the iodine 1, there will be a lack of electron, so that it has positive charge. And here iodine 2, they have large number of electrons, because these two electrons will also come to here. So now what will happen? This got negative charge. Now what will happen? The non-polar molecule becoming a polar one, because they have charges, partial charges. Non-polar means there is no positive negative charges, because they doesn't have any dipole moment, because both are same atoms. There is no electronegativity difference. Okay, but at a fraction of second, it has the electrons may be shifted from here to here. So it attains negative charge, here it attains positive charge. Now the same thing will happen in this molecule also. So here also iodine 1, iodine 2. What will happen? So here also I got slight negative charge, here also I got positive charge. Now the force of attraction, because this entire iodine 2 in A iodine molecule, this is B iodine molecule. In A iodine molecule, the iodine 2 atom has negative charge. In B iodine molecule, iodine 1 has positive charge. Now these two have force of attraction. Now these two have a force of attraction between them. This is a is one molecule, B is one molecule. Okay, so between these two molecules, the force of attraction is existing. This force of attraction is called intermolecular forces. It is coming under the category of intermolecular forces. Inter means between. Inter means between. Between the two molecules, the force of attraction will be created. At any time, at any fraction of, because I said this shifting of electron will be taken place for a fraction of time. So at any point of time, the shifted electron can go back to their original position. If there is any positive and negative charges will be there if it goes to their original position.
No, sir.
No, there is no positive and negative charge separation. அதாவது இனிஷியலா இங்க 6 எலக்ட்ரான் இருக்கு, இங்க 6 எலக்ட்ரான் இருக்கு. அது லோன் பேர்ல சொல்றேன். அப்ப லோன் பேர்ல இந்த பக்கம் 6 அந்த பக்கம் 6 இருக்கும்போது there is no charge separation. ரெண்டு எலக்ட்ரான் இங்க இருந்து சப்போஸ் இங்க இருந்து இங்க ஷிஃப்ட் ஆகுது அப்படின்னா what will happen? இந்த பக்கம் 8 எலக்ட்ரான் ஆயிடும், அந்த பக்கம் 4 எலக்ட்ரான் தான் இருக்கும். அப்ப less number of electron positive charge, more number of electron negative charge. Likewise then பக்கத்து மாலிகுலே அதே மாதிரி. So then positive negative charges will attract each other. This force of attraction is called what? Weak van der Waals forces. Van der Waals forces of attraction, or it may be otherwise called as London forces. Okay, it's a London forces or weak dispersion forces. So weak, W-E-A-K, weak dispersion forces. Okay, so why it is called as a weak force of attraction? Because at any point of time the molecule may lose the force of attraction. If the electron can go back to their original position, so there is no positive and negative charge separation. If there is no positive and negative charge separation in the molecule, so there is no force of attraction between the two molecules. Okay, that is what they're all called non-polar covalent solids or non-polar covalent bonds. They can be held together by weak dispersion forces called London forces or van der Waals forces of attraction. Why it is called as weak? At any point of time, the electrons can go back to their original position to becoming a neutral one without any charge separation. Okay, that is what they are called as London force or what is that? Van der Waals forces. They're all soft solids. They're all very soft solids. They're all non-conductor of electricity. They doesn't conduct any electricity. They have low melting point, very, very low melting point, and they are usually liquid or gas at room temperature. or liquid or gas at room temperature. Room temperature, they become a liquid or gas. Okay. Next one is a polar molecular solid. Okay. This we'll discuss in next class. Okay. It will take more time. Okay. We'll discuss in next class. Thank you, Kanu.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.